Schools in Tangka, Muar and Pontian reopen tomorrow. Selling unsold homes to foreigners to restore economy. Good evening and happy Malaysia Day. I'm Muhammad Amin and welcome to News on 2. Well, school sessions in 3 districts of Johor closed 2 days ago due to extremely poor air pollution index or API readings will operate as usual tomorrow. And State Education Director Azman Adnan said the decision was made following the API reading in the Tangka, Muar and Pontian districts started to drop below 200. Well, he said all the kindergartens and institutions of higher learning in the 3 districts would also be opened. Based on the latest API reading at stations in Johor, it shows a significant downward trend, dropping below 200. In a statement today, he said all schools in Muar, Tangka and Pontian districts, which were closed 2 days ago due to the extremely unhealthy air condition, will reopen as usual tomorrow. However, Azman said for districts with more than 100 API readings, school activities outside the classroom would be suspended. In the last 2 days, all schools, including kindergartens, institutions of higher education and colleges in 3 districts, that's Tangka, Muar and Pontian, were ordered to close today following API readings of more than 200. Well, the Malacca state government will not hesitate to take stern action against industry players caught polluting the air and not following the standard procedures set. At State Industry, Trade and Investment Exco, Dato Muhammad Rafiq Nozam Mohidin said apart from open burning, the irresponsible attitude of several factory owners in the state was one of the reasons for the rise in the air pollution index API in the state. Dato Muhammad Rafiq assures that the state government, through the relevant agencies, conducts checks and enforcement activities on a regular basis at factories and plants in the state.
Dalam tempoh yang agak kritikal sekarang ini, pendekatan amaran itu tidak, ataupun nasihat ataupun saranan itu tidak boleh kita guna pakai dan tidak relevan. Dan sekiranya ada kilang yang ataupun industri yang tidak mematuhi, kita tidak perlu tunggu dan tindakan yang tegas perlu kita ambil.
Dato Muhammad Rafiq said this to reporters after distributing face masks to residents of Krobong, Malacca. He also urged the public to report to the authorities if they witness any open burning activity and advise them to always take precautionary measures during the haze. Well, meanwhile, thousands of Indonesian firefighters are locked in an around-the-clock game of whack-a-mole as they battle to extinguish an invisible enemy, that's underground fires that aggravate global warming. Now, vast blazes are ripping across the archipelago's rainforests, unleashing a toxic haze over Southeast Asia that has triggered health fears and sent diplomatic tensions with Indonesia's neighbors soaring. Now, Jakarta deployed more than 9,000 personnel to battle fires, turning land into charred landscapes and consuming forests in hard-hit Sumatra and Borneo Island. But many of the blazes smolder deep underground in once swampy areas known as peatlands, where they can last for months and release eye-watering amounts of thick, acrid smoke. Well, the culprit behind Indonesia's blazes is, well, usually illegal fires set to clear land for the lucrative palm oil and pulpwood industries. And the situation this year has been worsened by drier weather. While some of the most serious fires happen in carbon-rich peatlands, this is topped with layers of decomposed plant material several meters thick, which become highly combustible when they are drained of water to be converted into plantations. Well, Indonesia has deployed water bombing helicopters, but the onset of the rainy season, which usually starts in October, would be the only thing able to douse the fires. Well, Housing and Local Government Minister Zuraida Kamarudin has described those who criticize her proposal on promoting 100 billion ringgit worth of unsold high-end houses to buyers in China and Hong Kong as lacking in national economic concepts. Now, Zuraida said in the current economic situation, the government must look into ways to solve the country's economic woes as well as those in the housing industry. Zuraida said the assets can be liquefied, the country's economy will be boosted, and at the same time with the development of affordable housing projects which the government intends to build.
So jadi saya rasa ini menjadi tanggungjawab KPKT melihatkan 100 bilion harta mewah termasuk komersial dan sebagainya. You just imagine 10 tahun akan datang kalau kita tidak clearkan hartanah ini, negara ini akan landscape-nya adalah landscape bangunan-bangunan terbengkalai, bangunan-bangunan yang kotor, yang uzur. Adakah kita nak melihat Malaysia begitu?
Last week, Zuraida had said that the home ownership campaign could be launched in China or Hong Kong to overcome a high-end unit glut in Malaysia. She also said the home ownership campaign could be promoted in either China or Hong Kong to attract Chinese buyers to come and invest in the local property market. However, she had since come under criticism from the public for the proposal. And on a related development, now property developers in Johor must submit a property market research report to the local authorities as proof that there is a demand for each area they plan to develop. Well, this is mainly to avoid an increase in the number of unsold properties in the state, which currently stands at 51,000 units with a market value worth 36 billion ringgit. State Actor for Housing, Communications and Multimedia, Zulkifli Ahmad, said this procedure will commence from 1st April next year.
Kita bercadang berlalu setahun dua, sekiranya apa yang dibentang kepada kita itu merupakan satu yang dimanipulasi, hartanah itu tidak dijual, kita berkemungkinan juga akan memperkenalkan cukai bagi unsold property, bagi memastikan bahawa pihak pemaju perumahan ini benar-benar bertanggungjawab untuk membina perumahan yang mempunyai permintaan di pasaran.
According to Zulkifli, based on the average income, Johorians can afford to purchase houses priced at 500,000 ringgit and below. Hence, he added, developers should instead focus on building more houses in that price range. More than 70% of the 51,000 units of unsold properties in Johor involve those priced at more than 600,000 ringgit. Well, Malaysia came into being by the coming together of people of different races, religious and cultures groups, and not just by any one single race or group. As such, Sabah Chief Minister Dato Sri Shafi Abdal said it was important for all communities and religious groups to continue working together and preserve the unity of the nation to ensure prosperity for all.
Saya berharap sungguh bersempena dengan Hari Malaysia ke-56 ini, kita selaku rakyat Malaysia, kita curahkan hikmat bakti kita sebaik mungkin untuk membesarkan, memajukan, membangunkan negara kita agar rakyat yang ada di negara ini akan dapat hidup dalam keadaan sejahtera dan makmur. Selamat menyambut Hari Malaysia ke-56 tahun.
The Sabah Chief Minister added that the past polemic of using a certain race and religion backbone of the country had only divided people of the nation. Stressing that unity of all races was a key factor for progress of the nation, Dato Sri Shafi said that as a government, leaders should not look for the lens of their respective race or religion, but must deliver to all races, religious and cultural groups to ensure that all Malaysians progress together. He further noted that Sabah was a good example of unity among its multi-ethnic and multi-religious people. The racial and cultural diversity in Sarawak is among the symbol of solidarity, harmony and strength of the rakyat in the state that could become the best model for a multi-ethnic society to enjoy the prosperity of living together. And Secretary General of the Ministry of Communications and Multimedia, Dato Suryani Ahmad, said The Malaysia Day celebration held in Sarawak could demonstrate the cultural diversity and unique features in the state to be shared together by all Malaysians. Elaborating further, Dato' Suryani said in terms of its history, Sarawak is certainly not as being unique because the ethnic diversity of the people becomes the strength in expressing the spirit of give and take, as well as a high sense of mutual respect. She also said the Hari Malaysia celebration was also a symbolic effort which must be maintained by the people in the country to express their love for the nation. Well, she said it is important to be committed to achieve mutual cooperation and endeavor to make Malaysia strong, and the patriotic spirit must always be inculcated from young and give exposure to unity. The Secretary General added that the Rakyat must also have a strong feeling of mutual tolerance, understanding the value of culture and removing negative elements that could jeopardize solidarity, and always have an open mind. Now, the price of fuel will remain the same for the time being. That's according to Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng, as global prices spiked following attacks on Saudi Arabian oil facilities. However, he said this may be reconsidered in the long term based on more solid assessments, and that decisions should not be made based on spontaneous reaction.
Tapi kita kena lihatlah tentang itu perkara-perkara lain. Seperti yang saya sebut, pertimbangan harus dibuat berdasarkan asas yang lebih kukuh, yang untuk jangka masa panjang. Bukanlah reaksi spontan ataupun 1-2 jam. Saya rasa ini bukanlah sesuatu yang munasabah. Berikanlah masa sikit untuk kita buat percaturan dan juga perkiraan yang sewajarnya.
Commenting further, Lim said the attacks in Saudi Arabia would have an effect particularly on the government and the end users. The minister told this to reporters after attending a briefing on the Special Voluntary Disclosure Program, SVDP, organised by the Internal Revenue Board, RRB, in Petaling Selatan today. This comes following drone attacks on 2 key Saudi Arabia oil plants on Saturday, causing massive fires and taking out about half of the kingdom's vast oil output, equivalent to more than 5% of global oil supply. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad yesterday said government subsidies of fuel prices would offset any increase in world oil prices caused by the disruption. Well, meanwhile, Lim said he needed more time to study a letter purportedly issued by his ministry about a 450 million ringgit project allegedly awarded through direct negotiation in Kota Bharu, Kelantan. Now, the Finance Minister added that he would be discussing with Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad about the now viral letter, as the approval for the project was given without his knowledge.
So can I discuss with my Prime Minister first? It's not right for me not to discuss with my Prime Minister first and talk to you.
From your ministry.
But it's not signed by me. There are how many letters signed by me and by other officials? So if it's signed by me, at least there's some basis. Signed by so many other officials.
The letter, dated on 26 July 2019, was written on the letterhead of the Finance Ministry and signed by an official from the Government Procurement Department on behalf of the Finance Minister. The letter was allegedly written in response and reference to another letter written by the Prime Minister on 9th July 2019 in regard to a design and build project of the Bangunan Gunasama Persekutuan amounting to 450 million ringgit in Tunjong, Kota Bharu, Kelantan. The Ministry of Communications and Multimedia is targeting the National Fiberization and Connectivity Plan, or NFCP, to achieve a minimum of 500 Mbps in all premises in state capitals and selected high-impact areas by the year 2021. Its Minister Gobind Singh Deo said by 2023, the ministry targeted that 98% of other populated areas will have access with an average speed of 30 Mbps. elaborating further, Gobin said the ministry is highly aware of the need to enhance efforts to beef up the telecommunication infrastructure to ensure that Malaysia is capable of connecting its people, business and industry to the world. Speaking today, the minister said broadband penetration is one of the impetus to the survival of the national economy, and the government is also committed to recognize connectivity as a utility just like water supply and electricity. In other news, Seberang Perai became the nation's 14th city today, and its outgoing Municipal Council President, Dato' Rosali Muhammad, was appointed mayor. The Seberang Perai Municipal Council, or MPSP, was officially declared the Seberang Perai City Council, MBSP, by Yang di-Pertuan Negeri Pulau Pinang Tun Abdul Rahman Abbas in conjunction with Malaysia Day. Now, the declaration was made during a historic ceremony at Dewan Millennium in Kepala Batas. The event kicked off with the arrival of Tun Abdul Rahman Abbas and his wife Topuan Majimur Sharif and the singing of Negaraku, followed by the state anthem Untuk Negeri Kita. Urban Wellbeing, Housing and Local Government Minister Zuraida Kamarudin then handed over the declaration letter by Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al Mustafa Billah Shah on Seberang Perai's new city council status to Tun Abdul Rahman. The Chief Minister Chow Kun Yeow then read out the letter of appointment of Dato' Rosali Mahmud as Seberang Perai Mayor before the Yang di-Pertuan Negeri. And speaking after the ceremony, Dato' Rosali thanked and congratulated the residents of Seberang Perai on the milestone event. And he said without the residents' cooperation, it would not have been possible for Seberang Perai to achieve its newfound city status. Well, more than 4,000 people participated in the Kereta Api Sarong 2019 event held in conjunction with the Malaysia Day celebration today. Now, the sixth iteration of the event saw participants from all walks of life dress up in the country's traditional clothing, such as the kain sarong, to demonstrate national unity, as the sarong is used by all communities in the country and accepted by people of all levels of society. Participants gathered early in the morning for the initiative organised by a community group, Local Companion, LOCO, with the support of the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, before boarding trains at 5 selected stations, namely the Kajang MRT station, the Bandar Utama MRT station, the Gombak LRT station, the Subang LRT station and the Ampang LRT station.
We feel very exciting.
Is it the first time?
Yeah, it's first time, yeah. Yeah, I bring along my kids. See, they have the Jalo Gemilang. Yeah. So I hope everyone enjoy the event today. Yeah.
My friend told me about this program. She's actually the route leader coming from Gombak. I wanted to join it because it's Malaysia Day. It's so much fun, and where else could I get the opportunity to sing all of these songs and to have it dance?
The event came to its peak at Dataran Merdeka, where a myriad of activities, including traditional performances to instill the spirit of unity and joy of celebrating Malaysia Day together, were offered to visitors. That concludes this evening's News On 2. In our top story, schools in Tangka, Muar and Pontian reopen tomorrow. Well, do join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos. Thanks for watching, and once again, happy Malaysia Day.